Hello everybody. Hi, thank you so much for being here today. I hope you're having a gorgeous day or night. It's another hot one out. It must have also rained pretty hard in the middle of the night. I tried to trek up to what's left of the rock I usually sit on, and the current was too strong. I couldn't even get up there, so I'm sitting on the side of the creek. It's still hot, but at least I got a little dip in. And let's get you some messages. Let's see what Spirit would like you to know to be helpful for you. It's a timeless collective reading. See what feels like it resonates, and always follow and trust the divine guidance in you, to your higher self, to God, to source, to the universe, because the answer is always in you. And try to make balanced decisions between logic and intuition, so your decisions are sound, they're based in love, and for the highest, greatest good of everyone. So we're all uplifted in love. Let's start with a tea leaf, get a couple of opening messages. Let's see what God, Source, Holy Spirit, Grace Consciousness, our higher selves, angels, and energies of love have for the highest, greatest good of all. I feel like maybe that one is our first message. 2, you got coins falling from the sky. It's telling you, hey, that's a good message to start the reading with. Somehow, some way, maybe by a surprise, maybe by a process, money is coming into your life. For some of you, I do feel like you're finding money in like an old coat or something like that under your car seat, someplace you just haven't looked in a while, and you're like, oh, well, that's useful today. I do feel like some of you are going to, I feel like you're gonna do something special with this. But for some of you, this is an onward flow of incoming money. It's not just 20 bucks in your jean pocket. It's actually maybe a step up in your career, a raise, a bonus. I actually see a check. Maybe somebody's writing you a check. Money will be coming to you soon. And then you have a harp. Well, maybe that's going to bring you great happiness. I also feel like this happiness energy, if you have the harp, it's like, you know, it's like the instrument of the angels. So it feels like a blessing. It feels like an answered prayer. It also feels like maybe something kind of rare. Not many people play the harp. And there's something about all of those strings being in tune. So I don't feel like it's one area of your life that's making you happy. I feel like each string is a different facet of your life, and I feel like it's a growth that's happening. There's something about being able to play this beautiful melody of abundance that's coming in. A harp. Maybe some of you play the harp. What a cool instrument to play. Let's get you a few more messages. What's another message? An arrow. You're on the right path. You're heading towards happiness. Maybe you're starting to follow your joy more and more, and that's why this happiness is growing. Also, if some of you are doing something even in your career, a project you're working on, and it brings you joy, that is going to open more doors for you. That is going to be where the universe takes you along the right road, the right path to maybe hit a specific target. But I feel like you don't get just one bullseye. You get many. You also get more than one arrow here. I'm seeing that you have more than one try at something. Maybe you didn't quite hit the bullseye at first, but maybe there's something coming through where you do get another try. You are on the right path regarding some aspect of your life. So maybe you feel like maybe some of your strings, here and there do feel out of tune. You have to tighten something up, loosen something else. But there's at least one beautiful direction that's absolutely working for you. And I still feel like those other things that maybe feel out of alignment will become more in tune the more you step along that path that's bringing you joy. Because right here it's just saying you're on the path. It doesn't say you hit the target or you hit the crossroads yet. So let's see. What's another message? Clarity on arrow, money, or coins, and harp. Woo. These two. What are these? I think these are our last two, and we'll go to something else. Ooh, you got a gong and a bridge. I want to just hear that gong hit. So you're going to hear something. Also, there's something between these two that's either rhythm or frequency, pace, movement. And also with this, if coins are falling from the sky. You have to have your arms open to catch them. You're gonna have an exciting event. I mean, maybe for some of you that's finding that 20 bucks in your pocket. Maybe for some of you it is meeting a new person. It could also be an actual event, a party, a gathering, something that's kind of social. I feel like some of you are going to have an announcement to make, or somebody's ready to announce something to you. You're gonna hear it. An exciting event. I also feel like with that gong's energy, there's something about a cleanse or a clearing. Clearing from an old chapter, maybe clearing from something that wasn't getting you across to the other side. I wish I had a bridge to the rock right now. There's something special about this particular card and this particular bridge across. Because even if you're not on one side of the shore or the cliff or the other, you're gifted this ladder. You are rising up. You are elevating at something. If you couldn't get to the, if you couldn't get to the opening of the bridge and you're stuck in the moat down there, you're stuck in the valley, then it's like Spirit's handing you this ladder. I actually see a helicopter with a rope, and you're like, you don't even have to do much climbing. I feel like something's actually kind of pulling you up. I also feel with that helicopter, you're gonna really hear something coming. Helicopters are really loud. Now I see the helicopter kind of hovering. So maybe you felt like you were hovering over something or under something, and now suddenly you're finally moving, successfully overcoming a problem. So you found a solution, you found a resolution, or I don't know, I feel like before, like you were walking along the creek, or you're walking along the river or something like that, and you're waiting for the bridge. I feel like the bridge moved. I know that's really weird. I'm not really maybe like that. I kind of see, the bridge that goes up when the boats go by, but I feel like your bridge seemed pretty stable, and it's just not where the map said it was supposed to be, or where you thought it was the last time. It's like you got to the same place and you're like, dude, where'd the bridge go? There's something about the bridge moving on purpose, because you were supposed to, I feel like maybe just go with the flow of a situation, because now I just see the river. Maybe you're also supposed to actually dive into something and trek across to the other side with some effort. Let's see what this is about. I have to use what I brought down here, so let's do the energy oracle and see what the overall energy is. What is the overall energy of the bridge, the gong, the arrow, coins, and the harp? Also, I hope this is in frame. It's so bright out. I actually, when it's really bright, your phone kind of goes dark. I actually can't see if this is recording. I think it is. I hope it is. It is. So let's see what the overall energy is. What is the overall energy to know about today for the collective? Contract. Interesting. Maybe some of you are signing some documents. You're definitely getting knowledge here, because there's books that are piled up. This girl is blindfolded, so maybe you couldn't see the way ahead and you had to really feel something out, feel how something was weighing you down or lifting you up, what created balance in your life. I feel like some of you are excited to sign something. Maybe you're buying a house. Contract. I see like like a guarantee or something like that. Maybe some of you are buying something that's kind of big, but you buy that extra, like, in case it rains and you don't make it to the plane kind of guarantee, or a warranty. Maybe something like that's important for some of you. I also feel like for some of you, maybe exciting news is getting out of a contract. If you were in some kind of agreement with somebody else, maybe the time is up, or there's an amendment to a situation. I feel like if some of you did feel stuck by something, there is a way to release yourself from the matter. I hear the matter. Maybe it does matter how you leave something. Let's see, what else is coming in? What else do we need to know about contract? I feel like some of you are also hiring somebody. I see somebody who works on property or works on a house or works on, I actually see very specifically like a roof, maybe something like that. Maybe even like a contract driver. Maybe you do Uber or Lyft, or you work for I hear the public somehow. So that could be the school system, that could be the city, the town, the state, maybe something like that. I do feel like some of you are either hiring someone or getting hired. So maybe it's something that you do contract by contract for some of you. Maybe it's not a big long thing that you're signing for. Maybe this is a job by job sort of situation. Maybe you have to read the fine print. What else would be helpful? Maybe you do have to read the fine print. It's interesting because I saw the crossroads, or like, you know, the entrance of the bridge. So if somebody is indecisive about what to do, maybe you need to sleep on something before you sign the dotted line. But I also feel like somebody is deciding how to get out of something, the best road for the next chapter. If you just stand at that crossroad and you know that something needs to change or something needs to move, then that doesn't get you very far. There could have been someone here that was kind of going around in circles, that kind of energy that came through the other reading where somebody thought they were making the right turn and another right turn and another right turn and another, and then they just end up going around the block and at that same crossroads. So if you feel like you're going in circles, yet people are telling you it's the right direction, or maybe that was the right direction in the past for you. If you feel like you're stagnant or not getting anywhere, then maybe your new right direction is a different decision. I do feel like some of you might be going into uncharted territories. So maybe somebody is going a certain direction because, you know, that's the path that they know. But there's something about the unknown path having more possibilities. Also, if this overcoming a problem is coming through and you're like, man, I need to get up to that bridge, but there's no ladder. It's almost like the next time you go around, you're gifted something extra by spirit, like that ladder or like that helicopter rope. That's like, oh, okay, I thought about making that decision before, but I guess maybe now it's going to be a little easier, or maybe you've been gifted a clue or a way through. I'm even getting maybe helpful professional advice or energy that can assist you. Because for some of you, you do want to do something on your own, but maybe you just need a little of assistance or clarity. Somebody that has a little information for you that will be helpful, and that might be something you have to go gather yourself as well. Sometimes it just doesn't just fall in your lap. You have to, you know, find those clues, go down that rabbit hole, see where it leads you. Indecision, and I just heard information overload. That was interesting. Like information overload. If you're overloaded by information, there's something about maybe the information you've been given having maybe, I see like a nugget of gold, but maybe a lot of crap. So maybe take some information, depending on the source, with a grain of salt. I feel like anything that's golden will ring true in your soul, but maybe you need to sift out the, you know, the crappy info. Because I feel like there's kind of messy information somewhere, and it's almost making somebody more confused about what to do. Maybe get to the heart of the matter. The truth in a situation, or maybe it's even about a truthful conversation. If you are hesitating because somebody else is indecisive, they're wishy-washy, you never really know what they're gonna do, and you now see a clear direction or gifted that ladder to the bridge across a situation, or you get itchy to just dive on in or just go with the flow, then I feel like you need to do you, boo. Do you. Don't be waiting around for someone else to catch up. They're gonna catch up or they're not. I feel like there's something you need to do on your own here. It also looks a little like, I don't know, it gives me like Little Red Riding Hood vibes. Maybe something was cloaked. Maybe the cloak is coming off. I don't know. First I look at this and it looks like velvet, but then I actually thought of a raincoat. Maybe the rain is cleansing the situation. Let's see. Let's go to something. No, I want to do another one. Let's do another one. I feel like there needs to be one more here. So let's do it this way. What is one more? Clarify, indecision, and contract, please and thank you. Yeah, you're seeing visions of maybe what you're attached to or shouldn't be attached to. Maybe this is somebody else tapping into their third eye. The pineal gland is starting to uncalcify. It's the 6th chakra, Archangel Metatron. Is this where you can foresee something? Like, it's also clairvoyance, I feel like, is coming through. So pay attention to, I feel like some of you are very clairvoyant. It's where you can like look at this video right now, but now picture your bedroom, picture your car, picture your desk at work. You can see it, but you're looking at this. It's that imagination, that other thing that's looking or seeing that is tapping into that pineal gland. Sometimes you get like little like snapshots, like little pictures. Sometimes it's more like a movie, or like even like clips of a movie. Pay attention to visions you have that come in randomly. Also pay attention to what you are envisioning, imagining, and putting that attention towards. Because if you are imagining something that's a solution or a way across or a way to, then you're going to start to have synchronistic messages connect you more to the clues you need, the answers, that mirror exactly what you were thinking. But if you're always in the mindset that, man, that bridge keeps moving, or I never make it across, or why did it rain today? I can't even get up to my favorite rock. I might as well not do this video at all. If it's always kind of half glass empty, or can't work out, or there's no way to amend a situation, or to break a contract, or to get one, whatever it is, then you're you're putting that signal out there. But I feel like you are actually receiving a signal here. And I feel like this is getting you closer to your crown chakra. But there's definitely something you can actually visualize. I also feel like there's something special about light. There's so much light here. Maybe your vibration, maybe you're lightening up a situation, feeling lighter, feeling brighter, recognizing your divinity. But there's something about your uniqueness. When I look at these little sparkles, I hope you can see them. They look like both the end of a sparkler. I mean, you do have an exciting event, but it also looks like a snowflake. But it looks like a snowflake that keeps changing its formation. So maybe you're receiving insight even on somebody else's situation, or you're receiving insight on maybe what you were overly attached to, and that could just be what you were envisioning, what an outcome is, what your maybe goal was, or what that, it does look like that's kind of like a, it does kind of look like that's a bullseye gong. But maybe your situation had to be in a certain time frame, turn out in a certain manner. It had to be this goal or nothing. I feel like you need to be more adaptable, because whatever you're tied to here with that pole, you're not getting very far in those chains. There's somebody that knows they need to be vulnerable. They know they're not comfortable wearing that weird false mask of who they are supposed to be, or who they're learning they are becoming. I looked at that at 1919. And this person is just looking at that mask, the mask of the past, the mask of their old self, the mask that they put up to make everybody else happy or whatever. And they're looking at it in a different way. They're like, damn, I'm looking at the inside of that mask. Why is there so much sweat on it? Probably because it was being worn too long. Somebody is taking that mask off. Maybe they're ready to just throw the mask away, embody their truth, dust off the cobwebs that are starting to form on the bottom of that dress, because whoever this is has been tied to that pole or that platform or that small little circle they can walk around for so long that you can't even, it looks like there's so much dust in the air, you can't even breathe anymore. It's like, so somebody needs to dust off a situation, unhinge themselves. It kind of looks like there's a key right there. You know, she has one hand tied. Maybe you feel like you don't have both hands tied, but maybe one hand is tied to a certain situation. But if this is turning around and this has anything to do with maybe some exciting news, freedom, maybe breaking free of an old situation, an old karmic cycle, feeling like you're more in tune with this happiness and this harmony and this success, and you know, some coins coming on in, then maybe it comes with that energy of sticking the key into the hole, releasing the lock that was binding you and taking off the chains. Because whatever is chained here feels restricting. Even though her dress looks like it's supposed to be flowing. Attachment. This could be attachment to a specific person, attachment to a place that you've been at for a long time. Maybe some of you are attached to a job. I looked at that one now, at 2121. So if you're just used to the job you go to, but you feel like, you know, you're just going through the motions, it doesn't really bring you joy, it's what you got to do. Maybe some of you need to start to detach yourself, maybe one hand at a time, and just do something fun, you know, over the weekend. Or start a project when you get home from work that you're excited about doing. Or go down that rabbit hole of knowledge of something you're super curious about and see where it leads you. Maybe, you know, you do have to start just one foot at a time, and you are still attached to something for a little bit, but I feel like some of you really need to bust the chains, just break free. You're never going to know how much freedom or how much expansion you could have if there's something tethering you down to an old cycle. And that could be a partnership too for some of you. That could be codependency with this attachment. It doesn't look like it's a very happy situation though. It doesn't look like it, you know, has any room to breathe. There's not even enough space for you to clean the dust off. So let's see. It's also a 5. So that does mean that something is going to change. I know this is really weird, but it is so hot down here. So I'm gonna pause it. I'm gonna go in there and just like cool my body off because I feel like I'm overheating. But I want to get through this reading, so be right back. Thank you for being here with the weird that is me in this channel. I appreciate you guys. I feel better. It is really hot out. So let's go to something different. I actually did bring the spirit animal oracle card. So let's get you spirit animal and see what some advice is on indecision, attachment, contract, 6th chakra. What is a spirit message that would be helpful right now for the collective that's watching this reading? Please and thank you. What is the spirit animal that has some wisdom for the collective today? That one. It's a turtle. I love that that's actually a turtle this time and not a tortoise. You have protection. So maybe somebody, this is kind of an energy that keeps coming through for you guys. I do feel like you're coming out of your shell. Somebody else is coming out of their shell. It's also recognizing who and where it feels like home. And it's whatever I saw, what kind of glasses I do. It's whatever I saw before about you kind of going with the flow, with the stream of life. So you're a master, finding life's flow. Be in harmony with the rhythm and your path. Wait, where's that? There is a path, and wherever your arrow is, that one was kind of a path as well. Wherever your path will unfold. Persevere and you will succeed. So it's telling you not to be hesitating on the fence here. Don't get overly concerned and if you make a wrong move at the crossroads, I feel like you're going to get another chance to redirect yourself. Maybe some of you find the shortcut. Maybe the long way is more scenic and beautiful. You have everything you need to be protected. And where's your thing? My cards are all over the place. I should have organized after I got back out. And happy, wherever your harp is. Did you hear that? I don't know if that was just a tree that fell or if there's another big animal over there, but at least I'm on this side. Well, the animals keep coming to visit us in these readings. So let's continue. Let's see what else would be helpful for you today. Let's actually go to this. I brought something different today. Let's actually get you a place. This is the place oracle. I haven't used in a little bit. And see if any of these places just have synchronistic messages for you, or maybe something to look out for on your journey. What is a place of prominence that would be helpful right now for the collective that's watching this reading? Please and thank you. I just had whatever was going on in the trees over there. So you do have the winds of change, but it's a wind-swept region. So just like those branches that fell down over there for whatever reason, it's maybe something that was maybe not that strong. Maybe something needs to be cleaned up. Winds can... I'm also getting that extra message for some of you, and I know this is extra, but maybe some of you didn't get that first short that I put out, where if any of you are in a location with a lot of trees and there's any weird trees that are, you know, are rotted, or they're leaning a little too much, you know, over the driveway or close to the house or something like that. I do feel like some of you, I did see some of you hiring somebody that has to do with a house or a roof or a contract. Maybe some of you need to hire somebody that, you know, does a good job with trees and kind of trim that situation or whatever needs to happen. Because I feel like you're getting this extra message again, and it's going to be worth getting the professional help with. Breezy, even maybe some of you do it yourself. Make sure you use proper protection. Breezy gusts, whirling winds, airy expanse, and dancing leaves. So it doesn't have to be big gusts of wind for all of you. Maybe it's just, you know, feeling the breeze on your skin. Maybe this is even paying attention to nature. Maybe this is also, if it's, you know, leaves that are changing, maybe something is changing in a new season. Sometimes you have to let something fall away. Sometimes there has to be that quiet stillness of the winter for the blossoming that comes in the spring. There's that quote, like a tree can lose its leaves, but it still has its roots intact. Also, maybe you connect to an air sign, or this is about, it says airy expanse. So maybe it does connect to expansion in your world through honest communication, asking the right questions. Maybe some of you are getting more communication with somebody. Airy expanse. Let's get you another one. Ooh, what was that? Oh, not used to all the extra nature that's up here on the bank. All right, let's see. It's interesting that I said bank and not the beach, and now I'm looking at this again. Maybe there's something that has to do with the bank or an account. What else would be helpful for the collective, please and thank you? Is there any other place of prominence? Oh, I like this. What is this? I mean, look at how beautiful that is. I mean, it's about a kingdom. Even though it says damp and rainy Rome, I mean, it must have been pretty rainy here last night. If something is damp, maybe something has to actually dry up. But there's something that's growing from the damp energy. The mushroom kingdom is the biggest kingdom in the world. So there's something about your kingdom growing, your kingdom building. It says moisture abound. I'm gonna keep going. If any of you took that to sassy land, I'm just gonna let it out there. What? Oh no, I didn't know this would take it to this. I didn't know we were gonna get weird here. It does say, I mean, I had to jump in the water, but it does say wet. I can't even say it in a straight face. Okay, breathe. It says wet serenity. I'm such a dork. Or this one's even better. It says drizzly delight. I feel like this is a cleanse. This is something where, you know, I mean, you have the wind and the rain here. Maybe it's after the storm, but there's something about emotions or this growth, or I don't know why I actually see very specifically a garden hose. I mean, maybe if it's extra dry, you have to hose your garden down. But I also feel like there's, like, I know they're mushrooms, but now I see succulents, which I know can very easily be overwatered. So maybe something was overwatered, or there was a big emotional situation to the point where it like kind of drowned somebody or made them feel like they were drowning. That's a song. I think that's 2 feet. And every time I think of 2 feet, it's interesting because didn't I say something about the snowflakes before? So that song, I feel like I'm drowning, it has that like bass kind of, you know, vibey energy, but I always also think of Max Frost, who has a great song. I'm actually excited to put that in the playlist for you guys. If you've never heard it, give it a listen. It is kind of sexy. It's called like Nice and Slow. I think it's Nice and Slow. So maybe the frost is thawing. Moisture abounds. It's interesting that some of those cards are like a bathroom or a park bench. These are kind of a general energy, a general weather, an overall general environment. So maybe you have to tailor that specifically to your situation, or maybe it is about your specific environment. All right, let's keep reading that. Can I say it one more time without laughing? I don't know. Moisture, no, can't. Moisture abounds. Wet serenity and drizzly delight. I don't know why that just made me think of, there's a song like I am the magnet and you are the steel. That's an old, like, I want to say like 70s song. I don't know why I just thought of that. All right, let's go. I brought the ferry down to the water here. I felt like this one was twinkling. So let's get you some fairy messages that would be helpful. Let's ask about the bridge. I want to ask about this. Successfully overcoming a problem. Let's see what you're overcoming, or what would lead you to success, or break this attachment to something that was making you stagnant or stuck or indecisive. Clarify what's bringing this energy of success. Because, you know, smoother waters ahead. I love that all this water energy is coming through. 6 of water. You're seeing it might have to do that conversation, or asking yourself some clear-cut, truthful questions. I feel like you do need to reevaluate something. This is always where you learn to drive your boat. You learn to drive the stick shift. What was rough waters, or, you know, a windswept, rainy storm before, all of a sudden the current's going to kind of chillax a little, or you found the right spiritual floaty to go with the current, go with the flow, even if, you know, the water level rises a little bit or a couple inches, as in this creek's case. But this person is on, they have one of those sticks. It's not a paddle. So the water is not that deep here. So maybe there's something where it looked like deep water, but you can actually touch the bottom, but there's still a way to get across, because you have one of those big sticks where you kind of push the bottom of the, you know, of the river or whatever to get you forward. So there can't be too much current going on here, or you're going the right direction. It's where anything that was confusing you, or a lesson you weren't quite getting before, you're like, I get it. I wasn't pulling up my anchor. That's why I was tethered to the bank of the creek the whole time and not making it, you know, down the ways. So next time you go, you're like, gonna pick up the anchor now, put it in the boat, get my big stick, And we're gonna go with the flow a different way this time. Maybe some of you felt like you were swimming upstream and it was a big current. Maybe you're gifted a motor. So if the current's too heavy for you to trek up, then maybe that thing that you're getting, like this ladder to the bridge, is like a motor up to a situation that felt like it was pushing against you. But it's where you leave the baggage in the past, leave the lessons on the shore, because you don't need to carry the heavy stuff with you. You learn to take just what you need to move forward. I like this because it does say you have positive changes coming in. Positive changes, they're on their way. Most of those changes start in you, but it could also be an overall energetic situation, but it's also how you handle it differently. Didn't I see like a raincoat before? Where did I see the raincoat with? Yeah. So it's like if you get the energetic weather report, it's like it's gonna rain. You're like, nah, I'm gonna bring my big heavy, my big heavy velvet cape here. And last time that weighed you down, you're like, nope, I'm gonna bring my fancy red raincoat this time, I'm good. Or maybe you do a flip-flop. I do see somebody that has something underneath, like a layer. You're like, I'm gonna look cute until it rains, and then we're gonna do the old switcheroo. It's being adaptable, but that takes mental clarity. That takes you asking questions. That takes you thinking outside the box. It's a welcome relief from troubled times, traveling or relocating. So maybe some of you are switching careers, switching maybe just the place you work, same job. Maybe some of you are actually traveling on water. That usually does come through with the 6 of winter or the 6 of water, the 6 of cups. It's where you, or swords rather. It's the 6 of swords. I don't know why I said cups, because there's always water in the 6 of swords. But, there's like a magical kingdom ahead of you. There's also a bridge. Interesting that we asked about the bridge, and if you look back there, hopefully you can see it. There's actually a way to get to that bridge. Maybe it's water under the bridge. Maybe you don't have to go across to the other shore. You can move, the way less restricting. Traveling or relocating. I am seeing that some of you might be moving to another country or another town. Or I actually see something that's kind of close. I just thought of this one time where it was like the easiest move I've ever had. I lived in New York City for a long time. And one time I actually moved down the stairs, across the street, up the next set of stairs in the building across the street, and that was it. I didn't have to, do all the rent the U-Haul or get some friends to bring all your stuff. It was like I just did it box by box myself. So maybe there's something where even though the act of moving is usually really stressful. I mean, sometimes it can be fun, but usually if you're packing up all your old stuff, you gotta go through things you haven't even looked through in years, or donate other stuff, bring what you need with you. There's something about wherever you're moving or whoever this is, it's not going to be as hard as was perceived to be, or somebody was overwhelmed with thinking about in this indecision land. Maybe it's just, one step at a time, do a checklist. I feel like you're going to start to check things off more and more. I also feel like it's going to be a lot easier than a lot of you thought it would be. And I also feel like wherever you're moving is going to give you a huge relief overall in energy, vibration, and your life in general, which is pretty big. So let's clarify this energy of, let's ask about let's just go general. Let's just see what Spirit wants you to know. Tell us, what is the biggest message to know about the smoother waters ahead, and what would be helpful? We're going back to that conversation. We're going back to the truth. This is maybe where communication comes in. It's also where you are birthing an idea that you have to put effort into. It's a good idea. This is maybe writing down a checklist, whatever I just saw. Sometimes this is written communication. Maybe it's really investigating whether a contract is worth keeping or signing or releasing or not. And often this is an epiphany. This is a solution or a resolution. It's a big like light bulb, like, yeah, why didn't I think of that before? But then when you think of it, don't forget it. You know, maybe write it down. Have, you know, another conversation about it if this came through in conversing. Because even the act of writing something down has now started to solidify that mental idea. You do have, you know, the ideas coming through with your spiritual downloads here. But now you're starting to solidify it with effort in the real earth, which starts that energy of manifestation. Here, it's not the truth. It's not getting clarity. It's somebody always having to fill in the gaps because they're never given like the direct answer, or they don't have a direct, like I feel like maybe you were direct and someone was kind of wishy-washy, indirect on their response. That sometimes is an answer. Sometimes you don't get an answer here, but there is something that is giving you the gift. This fairy has their arms open of clarity, of truth. It's intelligence, it's thoughts, it's ideas, it's communication. Don't be derailed by challenges along the way. It's important to communicate clearly and accurately and having amazing new ideas that should be implemented. You have to get past those ideas. You have to get past the, you know, the curiosity and learn more about something. So let's get you one more. What is the final message? Because this is a beginning. Maybe it's about beginning something. I feel like I'm just gonna shuffle and let's see what the foundation is. So let's take whatever's on the bottom. What is the foundation or the root of this new beginning for the collective? Well, the High Priestess. Maybe it's silence, or it's that knowing. You just know you know. You don't know how you know, but when you have that knowing, you trust it. When it feels right, when it feels like that golden nugget of wisdom. When the High Priestess comes through, it could be that you are gifted insight on why you're learning a lesson on at a certain pace, because I don't feel like she's not really direct, although she is presenting a pretty direct book, but she's only showing you this one page. So when you're ready to embody a spiritual lesson, the High Priestess recognizes you're ready for that lesson. And it doesn't come in order. It's not like you're on page 1, now you're gonna go to the next page. You know, you passed that one. It's like, okay, that kind of took you off path. So maybe we're gonna skip ahead a couple levels and you're gonna, you know, get an extra lesson down here, because then maybe when you go back to that next lesson you were supposed to learn back there, this extra thing you've just learned is actually gonna be really helpful for you passing it faster. Sometimes the High Priestess is spiritual integrity. She has a direct connection with God. She doesn't need a middleman. She doesn't need outside validation to why she has this truth in her or how the messages come through. I mean, I guess as a High Priestess, it is always good to have some validation if you have insight on someone else, because you start to trust that flow more and more, and it's trusting that release more and more, which is kind of interesting. So it's like you get something firm, but then you trust that, oh, okay, that thing that you got about that person that you don't even know why you told them that thing. I don't know why I just heard Uncle Bradley. That was really weird. That was so specific. I hope that helps somebody. Maybe somebody has an Uncle Bradley, Uncle Brad, Uncle Ron, Uncle Sal. Usually when I get messages and names, they kind of come through all at once, but those are all weird. Like, was it that call you uncle? What is that phrase? If any of you know what that is, like, you can call me uncle, or whatever that is. It's like calling bullshit, I guess. Maybe put that phrase down in the comments for me, for all of us. But it's having that integrity, so you don't have any kind of ego hold or attachment, wherever that is, to why you're gifted that knowledge. Because if you're attached to it having a certain outcome, then the insight that you're getting is always kind of tainted with the desire of ego. It's never the complete truth, because the complete truth comes through for the highest and greatest good of everyone. It also comes when it should, not when you want it to. And that sometimes is annoying. Sometimes the high priestess also comes through telling you maybe it's time to be silent about something until you know it's ready to speak up. Also, if there's been too much silence, maybe speaking up is the answer. She looks so powerful. Trust your intuition. Careful reflection before taking action. You do want to reflect, but when you get that big answer, you have to put that action into something. You have to trust yourself. Insights that come through meditation. So I hope something came through. I'm a big old mess here. I thought I brought the spirit messages, but I don't know if I did. Oh, I did. Messages from the universe. So let's get you one final message from the universe and see what would be the most helpful for you to know. What's the final message for the collective? Please and thank you. And to trust yourself. Things are going to really start to work in your favor and turn out better than planned. Maybe you have to adjust your plans along that journey. What is the final message? Maybe it is about silence. You have two messages. You have one that jumped and one that flipped. Let's take them both. Don't be afraid to, I love this message. Don't be afraid to say, I love you, or thank you to those that deserve to hear it. Don't be scared of embarrassing yourself or appearing soppy. You will never regret a heartfelt I love you or a message of appreciation. You will only ever regret not saying it. Powerful message and one of my favorites. You're never gonna regret saying I love you or expressing your gratitude to somebody that helped you or that you admire. You know, even if it's just expressing a true compliment that you really feel in your soul. If you think something beautiful about a person, tell them. It doesn't matter if you know them or not. Because that beauty, that authentic compliment is it's often it's like your guidance. You know, maybe you're just thinking, oh, I like that person's boots, they're cute. But a lot of times that's you being a little earth angel to someone. Maybe it's just putting a smile on their face. If you think something beautiful about anybody, tell them. Don't worry about looking goofy or what you say. And final message is, I need you to get excited again. I need you to remember you're not in this thing alone. I'm working on your challenges. That seems to be the theme to this reading. I've already assigned angels to you. So let go of the stress. Just trust me. I've got a pretty incredible ending in store. In fact, that's why you need to get excited again, because the happy ending, I guess we had to go a little bit sassy here at the end, because the happy ending, hey, I've got coming, is gonna rock your world. Ooh, you're gonna get your world rocked in the best way possible. Enjoy that ride getting there. I love you. I'll see you soon. Bye.